Welcome to Relate, conversations that explore how resilience and empathy lead to authentic and trustworthy engagements in every corner of our lives. Whether you're figuring out the complexities of romantic and intimate relationships, navigating the changing dynamics of parenting, maintaining decades long friendships, or showing up as a leader in your local community, we're breaking down the frameworks that keep us connected. Hey, it's May. I have thoughts on these things, and today we are looking at, well, we're looking at me. Specifically, why I am sitting on my couch, recording myself on my phone's camera, and why I decided to start this series. Before we dive into the deep end, I need to make a confession. If you clicked on this conversation expecting a certified relationship guru, a textbook academic, or someone who has mapped out the perfect flawless life, you might want to double check the description. I am not an expert on any of these things. In fact, I started this conversation because I am looking for answers myself. I've come to realize that society expects us to have human connection completely figured out by a certain point. We're supposed to just know how to navigate love, family, and community seamlessly. But the truth is, a lot of us are just doing our best with the cards we've been dealt, sometimes feeling incredibly lonely in a crowded room. So, this is not a lecture series. This is a space for radical honesty and vulnerability. I'm willing to lay my cards on the table and share my own insecurities and hopefully get you to share your valuable perspectives too. Because if we can be honest about where we're stumbling, how are we ever supposed to build something authentic? To understand why the acronym R.E.L.A.T.E or RELATE means so much to me, you have to know a bit of my blueprint. 15 years ago, I moved here to the United States. It was just me and my then 2-year-old son. No built in safety net, away from my family and away from my childhood friends. For a decade and a half, it's been the two of us against the world. I worked tirelessly to build a career, to provide, to make sure we never had to rely on anyone else or any handouts. On paper, from the outside looking in, I'm doing okay. My career is solid. We've survived and we've grown. But underneath the successful surface, there's a complex landscape. Let's talk about parenting. My son is 17 now. He is my absolute life. The circumstances of bringing him into this world were sad and painful, and maybe I'll share more on that specific chapter down the road. But what I want you to know today is that I would go through hell and back a million times over just to have him in my life. Knowing everything I know now, I would still gladly rearrange my entire existence and put my own career goals on the shelf to be a full time parent to him. My son has never met his biological father. I made a conscious choice to protect his mental and emotional well being by keeping certain details private until the time is right. Navigating that as a single mom, protecting his heart while trying to figure out how to let him grow into his own man, takes an immense amount of resilience and empathy. And yet, even with a career I'm proud of and a son I love fiercely, there is still a lingering sense of emptiness that I'm trying to understand. That emptiness often shows up in the other corners of my life. Like romantic relationships, I have been married twice. Since then, I've been engaged 3 times. And after all of that architecture, all of that trying, I still carry this heavy, quiet feeling that maybe no one actually wants to share forever with me. How do you keep your heart open to authentic and trustworthy engagements when the past templates haven't held up? Then there's my family back home in the Philippines. I love them deeply, especially my mom. She's the queen of my heart. And I know they love me, but distance changes things. Sometimes I feel like a transaction, an afterthought, out of sight, out of mind. But it was my choice to move away and pursue a family of my own thousands of miles away, so there's no one else to point a finger to but here. And finally, friendships. I have plenty of friends here. I am the friend who shows up. I am consistent, I am loyal, and I am incredibly generous with my time, attention, and resources. If you call, I am there, but there is a persistent insecurity I carry. I always feel like the backup plan, the second or third option. If I came down to a choice, I often feel like my friends would choose someone else over me, which is, of course, something I cannot fault them for. Some people are just more fun than others. When you add all of that up, the romance, the family dynamics, the friendships, it leaves you with a lot of questions about how we connect. So, why share all of this to everyone who cares to listen? Because I know I am not the only one sitting with these exact feelings. I know there are other single parents protecting their kids while carrying heavy secrets. I know there are people who are incredibly successful professionally, yet feel like an afterthought in their social circles. I know there are people who have loved and lost multiple times, wondering if forever is a real thing or just a myth. This series is called Relate because we are going to look at the tools we need to build bridges through these exact struggles. How do we build the resilience to keep showing up when we feel like the last option? How do we extend empathy to our families across oceans or our teenagers who are trying to find their own way? And how do we turn all of that into authentic and trustworthy engagements where we finally feel seen, valued, and safe? In every conversation, I'll take a specific dynamic, whether it's navigating long distance family ties, the vulnerabilities of dating again, or the art of showing up in the community, and I'll unpack my thoughts. And occasionally, I'll bring on guests who can offer their own blueprints and perspectives. For today's closing, I want to leave you with a quick self reflection. If you've ever felt like the second choice, or if you've ever put your own life on pause for someone you love, take a breath. You are not doing it wrong. You're just navigating the architecture of being human. I would like to hear your thoughts. What parts of your relationships are you trying to redesign right now? Connect with me, share your perspectives, and let's figure this out together. Thank you for stepping into Relate conversations with me. Go out there, practice empathy, build resilience, and create an authentic engagement. I'm May, and I'll talk to you next time.